Okay, our next storyteller is Brenda Lee Kaminsky. And Brenda Lee's story is Christmas Bells Are Ringing. Brenda Lee, we turn it over to you.
Thank you, Brigitte. Hello, everybody. Have you ever had a Christmas where you received a gift you were totally not expecting? Let me tell you my story. It was the Christmas of 1993. It was finally Christmas Day around 6:30 in the morning, and my daughter, who was usually the first one up, came bolting into the bedroom, jumped into bed. Mommy and Dougie, it's Christmas Day, hurry up, come on down and see all the presents Santa brought us. I turned to my partner, Doug, and said, good morning, hon. I'll get the coffee on and I'll see you downstairs. We were a blended family with 3 kids. My son, Chris, who was 7, my daughter, Charissa, who was 6, and my stepson, John, who was 10. We had decided this year it would be a different Christmas and very simple. We'd focus on the kids and take our trip in the spring when they went back to visit their parents. So this Christmas was really geared to the children, and I really had no expectations. As I went down the stairs, my daughter flew ahead of me and plopped herself right in front of this tree. The boys were already downstairs, shuffling amongst the presents, shaking them and sorting their piles. And when I glanced over, they seemed particularly giddy and fidgety, and something was a bit different this morning, but I had no idea what. Oh well, I thought maybe it's just me. I had made cinnamon buns the night before and went to the kitchen. I turned on the oven, flipped on the switch to start the coffee brewing, and I came back into the living room and sat down in my favorite chair. The tree was aglow, and I thought to myself, oh, I love Christmas mornings. The smell in the room of a grilled tree, the twinkling lights, the coffee brewing, and the hint of cinnamon coming out of the oven. But what I loved the most were the beaming faces of our 3 children that literally lit up the entire room. Now that was Christmas. As tradition would have it, usually they grabbed their gifts and began to rip them open, but this year they didn't. They were all squirming as if they were waiting for something and literally staring at the tree. Near the top was a huge bow. It looked something like this, gold with a red ribbon. And I thought to myself, I didn't see that the night before. I looked at the bow, turned it over, and behind it was a long tube of rolled paper. It kind of looked like a scroll. My daughter, who was literally jumping up and down, said, Mommy, open it, open it. So I slowly unraveled the scroll. And what I saw was a really beautiful, simple handmade drawing by my kids. When I looked closer, I saw they had drawn a treasure map. I had an instant feeling of love wash over me, as I love children's drawings. How cool was that, I thought. Well, my daughter blurted out, Mommy, we made you a treasure map. I said, thank you, honey. And as I slowly felt tiny tears well up in my eyes. By now, the kids were jumping up and down and said, let's find the treasure. Well, apparently they knew about this little plan, and I have no idea how they kept this a secret, but they did. The first place on the map was the chair in the living room I was actually sitting in. It was my reading chair, and on it was my favorite blanket, the one they bought me the year before with 3 little bears on it. I loved this blanket as it reminded me of my children. I often called them my 3 little bears. As I wrapped myself in the blanket, something fell down. It was a brochure. I picked it up. It was for a camping site on a lake in the interior of BC, and I thought, wow, that's weird but nice. It was a site we took the kids to frequently as a family, and I couldn't figure out what this had to do with my Christmas. Was this a family gift? They were squealing and bouncing off the wall. The next spot on the map took me over to the piano bench. As I opened the seat on the bench, I looked inside, and there was a card in there. Inside the card, inside the card was a gift certificate. It was to Cabela's, a good store.
And there was a gift.
What was this?
They were squealing and bouncing off the wall.
Camping gear.
Off the wall. The next spot on the map took me over to the piano bench. As I opened the seat on
I thought I wasn't too sure what this was all about. So the map took me into the living room. I remember the day we bought that living room sofa. It was our first piece of furniture together. We had several fond memories on that sofa, and some of which I can't share with you. He was sitting on the sofa and with a big grin from ear to ear. I slid over, put my knee on him, put my hand under the sofa, and there it was, a long silver tube, just like this one. It said on it 4 letters. At first, I thought they had said Sage, which was my favorite essential oil store. I thought, he must have bought me my favorite oils. Maybe it was another gift or gift certificate for a spa day. Let's open it and see. So I opened it and I slowly unraveled it. And I looked inside, and much to my dismay, as I pulled it out, I went from a feeling of sudden elation to confusion, and my heart sank. It wasn't that, it was a sage brand fishing rod. And my first thought was, oh my God, another gift for me that would make Doug and the kids happy? Really? Seriously? I had to contain myself, as I could literally feel both my heart sinking further, and I was quickly losing my Christmas spirit. I thought, what about me? My daughter then yelled out, pull it out. So I pulled it the rest of the way out of the tube. And as I pulled it out, and I kept pulling it out and pulling it a little further and a little bit more, at the end of the rod was a bow, a silver bow, and on it was a ring. Behind it was a beautiful sparkly ring with a solitaire in the middle. It was simple but stunning, and I suddenly burst into tears, my heart filled with joy. I lifted my gaze and looked at my sweetie, who was now beaming from ear to ear, and he said, so was that the gift you really wanted for Christmas? I leaned over, planted a super big kiss on his lips, hugged him, and he said, so will you marry us? And that was the biggest Christmas gift surprise of all.
Woohoo! Oh, Brenda Lee, so good.